Hello and welcome to Patrick's Models and Transport. So here's an update on the Lima SNCF BB67000. Well, I didn't really do very much today. I had a lesson this morning, then I had some various other chores and things to do. Maybe not the most relaxing Saturday I've had. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I did some things anyway on this thing here. I washed the body shell, which was black, filthy, but it's not lost its patina, so it's still nice and it has this natural beaten up, weathered look. And I'm not going to look at that. There are scratches and things. So definitely, I'll also camouflage some of the chips and scrapes with a spot of weathering. I'll maybe use some grime, definitely. And these white frames here, where the grills are not very pristine looking, and I'll have a look at some photographs and see how grimy those get, and I might just leave them as they are, or if they don't get that particularly grimy, I'll pick them out with a white marker pen. So then I also cleaned the only piece of surviving glazing, which is this one here. That came nice. I didn't use the LCD screen cleaning solution this time here, because this thing here was really very dirty, and there weren't any, it wasn't a delicate thing, so there was no need to be particularly fussy about it. It's a Lima bodywork. I cleaned it with a very soft toothbrush, lukewarm water, practically body temperature water, tepid water, and some, how do you call it, shower gel, and then I rinsed it in cold water. But that's the body shell. I've not started servicing the mechanism yet, because of course, remember that this comes off. I only had the body shell and I bought the chassis, so the chassis is actually in much better shape than the body shell. In fact, in my box of odds and ends from Trieste, there's a broken bogie. So I think that the original locomotive had a very unpleasant end at one point in its life, but the bodywork is surviving to live another day with a new chassis. So this is a chassis as it is, sold as a runner, and the person who was selling it mentioned that this soldered contact here has to be fixed, and true enough, it's pretty messy, so we'll fix that up. But it's a runner, and a good runner, because now the wheels are needing cleaned, commutator needs cleaning, so everything needs cleaning. But I'm going to power it with a 9-volt battery, and not only does it go, but it's pretty quiet for being a Lima. So in my opinion, this chassis hasn't had that many running hours. Spoke too soon. Went twice and then it stopped. Okay, it's pretty quiet, huh? If I had the layout out, I would test it on the rails directly. So it's not bad for being newly delivered, and pretty quiet. So it's not a bad locomotive. So in the next video we'll begin servicing the motor. That's easy, very simple, but we'll do it together. I don't even know if I've ever done. I don't think I've ever made a video where I service a Lima G-type pancake motor. YouTube is full of such videos, so but I could show you my techniques. We'll do it together. And also, mainly, apart from cleaning the motor, that's old hat, but I also like to lubricate the gears using a spot of technical petroleum jelly. So that's my recipe. By the look of the wheels, I think I see some brass shining through, so probably, yeah, this locomotive has worked. But we'll see when we open it, we'll see how worn out the brushes are. The brushes will tell us how worn out this thing is. And now, before we put I want to show you the other candidate. Well, the next one of the ones that has to be serviced is this boy here. So I've not been doing locomotive work for some time, and so I've decided that I'll make my life easier and I'll begin with some Limas, because Limas are nice and easy. So you saw a post about this one. This is the FS diesel hydraulic D342 Ansaldo locomotive. Very nice diesel locomotive, diesel hydraulic locomotive, in not very good conditions. This one here is absolutely caked in oil. This one was lubricated in a very generous way, right? And but this one here, let's see if it gives signs of, well, this is a new 9-volt battery. Let's see what happens, because with the old 9-volt battery I have, it didn't budge at all. Silence in court. Absolutely dead. No sign, not even a buzz. Note. Not a happy moment, not at all. So we'll see what happens with this one here. It's just not wanting to go. This needs to be, and look at the mica in there. Look at the filth. It's shining, glistening with ancient oil. Be all caked up. There's carpet. There's all sorts of rubbish in here. And this is this one here. This also has Zamac weight. That's a bit on the swollen side. It's not really completely swollen out of dimension. It's not causing any problems to the bodywork. But because this one here is held, there's a screw that goes through the roof and down into catches into the bottom of the locomotive there, going through the Zamac weight. This is a newer Lima locomotive, and this has got a nice steel weight here. I think it's steel. Let's see if it's magnetic. I think so. Oh, very, 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 extremely magnetic. This is a good thing. This has got the steel bar. This has got the Zamac, and this Zamac weight here, well, we'll see it together when I open it up. I'm planning to file it down a bit, to get it filed down, and then I want to try one of the various techniques. There's a technique, one of them said, one technique in sort of, blocking, sort of stopping the, how do you call it, closing the pores on the Zamac. It says to heat it to a temperature of 70 degrees centigrade, and then apply, what do you call it, epoxy resin, but I don't really know if that's heating it is there. Would have to put it with a pair of pliers over the gas flame, and I'd end up burning my fingers. So I think that the pores are there, so I'll file it down, sand it. That'll be a nice dirty job. I think I'll do it on the balcony, and then I will apply epoxy resin to it to sort of seal it and see what happens. So, because this is actually making kind of floury kind of dust inside, and then that stuff goes inside the motor, which is absolutely not good. So that's another reason why it's good to coat these Zamac weights if they're starting to go bad, if they're starting to make dust, if there's a motor inside. So we'll see this in its dedicated video, but it's just to show you two different Limas. Okay, so that's that. I'm going to do some other odds and ends. I've been listening to Depeche Mode, Useless. Great song. Cheerio, and see you next time.